Unfortunately, I have a sad conversation to discuss today out of the great city of Houston, Texas. Now, Houston is very important for me because part of my family, my maternal or paternal grandfather was living there. He died in the city of Houston, and I got a chance to see him about 6 months before he passed. So for Houston, a lot of black people move there from the South to get opportunities. And that's what Houston, Texas is for a lot of people. It is the land of opportunities. With that being said, Houston, with its great opportunities for its city, and its city is worth more than the GDP of Kenya. So just imagine that. Houston is worth more than Kenya, the whole country. Sometimes you have people who have problems. And I want to talk about this with Mr. Belanley Federo. What he did was very, very atrocious. I'm going to play this particular video clip and we're going to find out why.
We are learning new details about the suspect in the deadly shooting of a father whose son was also found dead. Tonight, some former co-workers are sharing the violence they experienced at the hands of the accused gunman. KPRC2's Bryce Newberry live downtown at HPD headquarters with their story tonight. Bryce.
Keith, court documents show that bond is now denied for that suspect after earlier today a magistrate set it at more than $1.5 million. And tonight, like you mentioned, we are learning more about this suspect's past, including an incident that leaves some thinking police did not do enough to stop these murders from happening. Michael Essien and his 2-year-old son Micah stolen too soon.
I just want everyone to know the two great people that they took from me. That child always light up my world.
Their wife and mother, Mabel, still trying to understand why.
Anybody that comes in contact with him, they can attest to him. And that is what I came to let everyone know, who Michael Essien is, my loving baby.
Investigators say Michael's high school classmate, 38-year-old Belanley Federo, opened fire on Michael in this plaza parking lot Tuesday afternoon before stealing his SUV with 2-year-old Micah in the back seat. The car found hours later, less than a mile away in southwest Houston, the young child dead in the back seat. Federo, one of the many people his family says Michael helped stay on their feet, now charged with 2 counts of murder and tampering with evidence. KPRC2 has learned Federo worked at a West Houston barbershop for about a year before incidents that pushed his boss, Shawnette Jackson, to fire him.
He was very angry, he was arguing, and he was saying, I feel like hitting somebody.
About 4 months later, employees say he returned and shot up the shop.
The windows was broken, there was bullet shots in the shop.
They reported it to HPD last August, which confirmed an open case for reckless deadly conduct by firearm, but no arrests. A former coworker who asked us not to use his name tracked down evidence that he says would have led investigators right to Federo.
If they would have listened to the things that we had and things that we told, they could have saved those lives.
But Jackson says investigators told her they didn't have enough manpower to go after him.
If they would have arrested him then, he wouldn't have been on the streets.
And tonight, autopsy results for the 2-year-old are still pending. So far, investigators have said that heat exhaustion may have played a role in his death. That suspect due back in court tomorrow morning. We're live downtown. I'm Bryce Newberry, KPRC 2 News.
Bryce, thank you.
So as you can see here, this particular brother knew a classmate. And not only did he gun the classmate down, he stole the car that the classmate was driving from many years ago, leaving the 2-year-old baby to also die inside as he stole the car. So that's 2 people deleted due to this guy. And the thing that really bothers me is not what he did on that fateful day, because by then it was too late. What bothers me is all of the problems that he had and that he wasn't off the street. For example, look at the barbershop he was working at. At the barbershop he was working at, he was talking to the manager about he wanted to fight people. He wanted to do this and that. And when he got fired, he came and he shot the barbershop up. He was not arrested. So when he's not arrested, or when they can't find him, do you know what that means? We are, as a society, rewarding bad behavior, meaning that this particular gentleman should have already been off the streets. He should not have been on the streets. And we're talking about Houston, Texas, where you have cameras everywhere. You're talking about Houston, Texas, one of the greatest cities in America, which then makes it one of the greatest cities in the world. And you can't bring this guy to justice when the guy is doing things. People were begging the police, hey, listen, you need to get this guy off the streets. So you don't. I don't know if it's a no snitching campaign. Let's not tell on people. But then what happens? The guy goes out here and now 2 people are no longer with us because of failure of police to do what they're supposed to do. Now, I ask a question to those people, pretty much in the black community, in the black sector, and I'll call it the Negro sector for a reason. Here's what I want to ask you. Why are you so against the police officers? You want lax police protection. Some of you that say that, right? Good. I'm glad you said that. Then you want this guy, when your son or husband is out, to come do what he does, and then you're the one crying about how you miss your husband. He's not coming home that night. You miss your toddler. Let me tell you something. I was recently in Dubai earlier this month. And you know what? Dubai has a lot of wealth in the city. But not only does it have a lot of wealth, it is very safe. It's safe. You can walk out there at any time. If you're at the marina, if you're by the Palm Jumeirah, wherever you're at, safe at any given time. Because one thing that the UAE will not let you do is to come over there and destroy what they have. They're not going to do that. And let me tell you something about communities that need to be built anywhere in the world. You cannot have investment into cities, into communities where violence or criminals are accepted. It slows down everything. One of the biggest destroyers of economic growth is crime, it's war, it's poverty, it's lack of education. These are the pillars to every socioeconomic society. So if you have people who are against policing, people who are against folks being locked up, then guess what? Your real estate investment is going to go down. Guess what? Your kids are not safe. Guess what? Teachers don't want to come and teach in the school districts that you live in. Who wants to do that? Think about it. If you want to go and teach as a teacher, where do you want to go? You want to go to schools that have resources? You want to teach at schools that are nice? You want to live in neighborhoods that are nice? Do you want to live in neighborhoods people are shooting every day and you don't know who the person is? No, nobody wants to live there. Think about when you want to go on vacation. Where do you pick to go? Nobody ever picks to go vacation in a fucking slum. Do they? No. You look for the nicest hotel you can find, take your wife there, take your kids there, take your family there, because it's safe. That's why we need more investment in communities to make them safe. Okay? You need better school districts to make them safe. You need better prison systems to make things safe. Put them in there by themselves, but it needs to be safe. And I know we talk about the black man and racism, and I get all that, but folks like this you gotta get them off the streets for the protection of men and women and kids. Everybody suffers when crime is allowed. Crime has to be eradicated to its near closest form for folk to be safe. If you don't have that, you cannot function in the world today. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell. We're out.